The United States has an approximate population of at least 342 million people. This puts us just behind India and China for population. However, we have a disproportionately large number of prisoners. There are over 1.5 million inmates within the United States as of 2020, which would mean that we had more prisoners than the entire population of Estonia. Due to this, our prisons are dangerous for both guards and prisoners, while also having a high recidivism rate. This, coupled with factors like for-profit prisons, has caused a severe lapse in the efficacy of the prison system as a whole. The topic of my speech today is the inefficiency of the U.S. prison system and why it needs to be changed. I'm credible to talk about this topic because of my hours of research for this speech, along with previous research done from previous assignments. Today I will talk about three main points in my speech. First, I'll talk about the major flaws in the prison system. For my second main point, I will discuss the cause of these issues within the United States prison system. And finally, my third point, will discuss the solution to these problems. Now let's begin with the problem for my topic. My first main point is that the prison system is severely mismanaged, understaffed, and has numerous other factors that actively hinders rehabilitation efforts. According to a journal article written in 2022 titled The Failed Regulation and Oversight of American Prisons by Sharon Dolovich, prisons often lack sufficient medical care, mental health care, physical location quality and upkeep, safety from sexual and physical assault, and they often have frequent sexual and physical assault from the staff as well. This actively inhibits people's rehabilitation as they often have to join gangs just to feel safe, and possibly even do dangerous things that would jeopardize their rehabilitation as well. Additionally, the recidivism rate within the U.S. prisons is significantly higher than most other countries. The 2024 journal article by Obafemi Diakintayo, Chinazo Neka Ifeanyi, and Okiyoma Ononuka, titled Reducing Recidivism and Prison Overcrowding with ADR in the U.S. Justice System, it is directly stated that recidivism rates remain alarmingly high, with nearly 68% of released prisoners rearrested within 3 years and over 77% within 5 years. Finally, there is yet another issue with prisons, that being the fact that prisons are severely overcrowded. According to a journal article from 2024 titled Overcrowding in Prisons, Health and Legal Implications by Evan Nudd, Mahayon, Calliope Campanella, and Mary Brasholt, an overcrowded prison is less safe, secure, humane, as well as riskier for those who are at increased vulnerability. Now that you're familiar with my first main point, which is the severe impact that the current prison system has, I will now move on to my second main point. My second main point is that the cause of the prison system's inefficacy within the U.S., this is mostly caused by the for-profit prison system as well as prioritization of profit over actual rehabilitation. According to a journal article from 2018 by Shannon M. Silva and Seema Slamimi titled Social Work and Prison Labor, a Restorative Model, in recent years, the prison industry is ranked among the fastest growing industries in the United States, fueled largely by prison privatization. This, combined with the fact that most prisoners are often paid less than $1 per hour, causes a significant push from the prison sector to keep certain things illegal, notably instituting a mandatory minimum sentencing for non-violent drug offenses. And now, since you are aware with the problem and the cause of the problem, let's now move on to the last topic of my discussion. My third main point is going to discuss the solution to help improve the prison system and lower the recidivism rate within the United States. As shown from the statistics, as well as the other data I have provided, the prison system is actively detrimental to the prisoner's attempts at rehabilitation and increases the likelihood of recidivism significantly. My solution approaches the problem from multiple angles, though it would be extremely difficult due to the massive changes needed, as well as being detrimental to as said before, are quite a large part of the economy. The first part, or the solution, would be to completely decriminalize drug offenses that do not include deaths or hospitalizations related to distribution. These people need rehabilitation above anything else, and a lot of the charges are likely related to the fact that mandatory minimum sentences for possession allow for-profit prisons to get a larger workforce. According to a journal article from 2021 by Jonathan P. Calkins and Peter Reuter titled Ending the War on Drugs Need Not and Should Not Involve Legalizing Supply by a For-Profit Industry, at the end of 2018, state prisons held 176,300 individuals whose most serious offense was drug-related, and that for 3.7% of all state prisoners, the most serious offense was drug possession. For the second part of my solution, the U.S. should focus more on rehabilitation as opposed to pure punishment, as been proven to lower recidivism rates significantly. According to a journal article from 2023 by Denise Yuknenko, Lee Faruqi, and Sina Fazel, titled Criminal Recidivism Rates Globally, a 6-year systematic review update, Norway, a country that has much more rehabilitation and reintegration within its legal system, has a recidivism rate of only 17.6% compared to the 68 to 77% we have. Finally, I believe that for-profit prisons should just be abolished entirely. For-profit prisons actively encourage people to be in prison for longer than they should be, and also encourage prisons to become overpopulated due to wanting more workers. For-profit prisons should either be forced to pay a reasonable wage to their inmates, or be converted into federal prisons instead. In conclusion, today I discussed what the topic of the prison system's flaws within the U.S. I talked about 3 main points. First, I covered the problems that the prison system currently has, the cause of these problems, and I proposed solutions to these problems. There are many things you can do on an individual level to help as well. Calling local representatives, senators, governors, all of those, to advocate for prisons to be humane, advocating for the abolition of private prisons and higher restrictions on them to be more humane, as well as just knowing the system is so flawed and spreading the reality of these issues could prove beneficial to improvements. The United States is slowly moving closer to a more effective prison system, but has a very, very long way to go. Many people in prison should have been released long ago or not even in prisons in the first place. The incentive for people to be imprisoned in for-profit prisons has warped the rehabilitation process into glorified slavery, and no one deserves to be a slave because they got addicted to something. Prisoners need to be seen as people instead of numbers or something that needs to be punished. Until we do that, our prisons are going to be actively detrimental to those inside.